gonna be doing wind power today.
Is that fun?
Uh-huh.
Hi. Today I'm going to be setting up a wind generator. And by wind generator, I mean something that takes wind power and makes electricity out of it, not a literal generator that makes wind, because that'd be a fan. Anyway, I have two 100-watt solar panels outside, and those are doing great in the summertime, but now that it's winter, they suck. They don't put on any power. There's like three reasons for this. First off, it's winter, it's dark. I think we probably get 8 hours of daylight, maybe, as opposed to 15, 16 in the summer. Secondly, it's cloudy all the time. Solar panels don't really make a whole lot of power when it's cloudy out. And lastly, it snows all the time. It seems I have to go out and brush the things off 3 or 4 times a week. Sometimes have to scrape ice off of them. So that's a big pain. So I thought it would be good to diversify my bonds into some wind power. Wind and solar, they're kind of viewed as complementary. If it's a good day, nice sunny day, it's sometimes not windy. If it's cloudy, it's crappy out, there's more chance that there's like a storm going on. So it's not a perfect relationship, but wind has more of a chance of, happening when the sun isn't shining, I suppose. So this should be a pretty fun project, because I've never done anything with wind power ever. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing today. Let's go take a look at the wind generator I bought. Alright, and here's my wind generator that I bought from Amazon for about $170. It's apparently a 400 watt rated power, which should be about twice what my solar panels over there do. And it's surprisingly heavy at about 15 pounds. See, it comes with the blades. They were pretty easy to assemble. You just screw them on. So you got the generator, the blades. It comes with what I'm assuming is a rectifier to take the 3-phase AC and turn it into a positive and negative 12 volt DC. And you also get mounting stuff to mount it to whatever the hell you decide to mount it on. So I suppose that's the next thing I gotta figure out, is where to actually put this thing. Alright, and this is the tower design that I hope to mount the wind turbine on. The big thing is I want it to be portable, and I also don't really have any idea what I'm doing here, so I don't want to have any too permanent setup if I need to change it later. So as you can see, the generator is going to be mounted on a 4x4 piece of wood. It'll probably have to be about 2.5 feet long to have clearance from the blades. And then below that, just mount 4 2x4s with 45-degree angle cuts to make the legs. And overall, it should be about 5 feet tall. And then I also plan on drilling a little hole in the center, so the wires from the turbine right here can go through there and then get hooked up to the rectifier. So after a few hours hunting around for bits and pieces of wood, because I really didn't want to go to the store to buy some if I could find scraps, I found some about 3 foot long pieces of wood that I decided to use instead of, I think, the 4 I was planning on using. I had the parts, so why not use them? I did have to change one thing about this. There's a 2x4 for the, I guess you'd call it, mast instead of a 4x4. I did have a 4x4, but I was confused, or I didn't like how I didn't want to screw the bolts into a 4x4 and just have it be held with the wood instead of the the nuts that came with it. So I found this other piece of wood, just screwed that onto the 2x4, drilled a hole through the center, which comes out here for the wires, and then the 4 mounting holes. So just put the bolts through there, put the turbine on top. Yeah, screw the nuts onto the bolts, and it should hopefully work. It's not the most attractive thing, but as I said, I want to do a temporary mobile setup that I could move or adjust as necessary, so I think this will work just fine. Alright, I got the generator mounted on top of this monstrosity, and everything looks to be okay. The only problem that I didn't plan on was the head of these bolts does not fit through the top. So mounting them through the bottom should be okay as long as I put the nut and the washer on. The wires came through just fine. For my rectifier or whatever the hell it is, I'll probably just nail it to the board, hook it up with some wire nuts, and then go from there. I haven't attached the blades yet because I think trying to get this thing out of the house with the blades on will be a pain. So those still aren't attached, but you know, it seems to rotate just fine and doesn't hit anything. The stand seems to be pretty stable. It has a slight rock to it, but like the whole stand itself probably weighs like 30 pounds and most of the weight's at the bottom. So I think it's pretty stable and I shouldn't have to worry about it falling over. Alright, I got the rectifier thing wired up to the AC lines, and I don't know, you know what's a good way to check it? Just yeah, there's a little bit of power. Not too bad, but it's working. Alright, a more proper way to check would probably be to use one of these instead of licking it. So, let's do that. Alright. Leave about 1.5 volts, and then once it slows down, it starts to decrease. So hopefully once the wind spins it, it'll kick up to like 12 or 14 volts. One minor problem trying to take this outside is apparently the back door doesn't open. No, get. So I guess I'll have to try to navigate to the front door. Alright, I got my wind generator outside after a bunch of maneuvering through the house, and now all that remains to be done is to hook the blades to the front and then connect the wires to the battery. For the wires, I plan on using the wires from the solar panels, which these are just regular extension cords to make it cheap and easy to hook up before I got too involved. I ordered some actual solar panel cables, which should be here in a couple days, but until then I'll just take the wires off one of these panels and then hook it up right here. I still need to go back outside and put wire nuts on the battery connectors, but while I'm in here I should probably rewire this to the battery. This is from the solar panels, which it goes into the solar charge controller as the input, and then to the batteries. But since the wind generator kind of has its own regulator or whatever on it, it needs to be put directly on the batteries. So I'm going to take these off and then just wire them to some of the battery terminals. All these batteries are in parallel, so it doesn't really matter where I wire them, but this terminal probably looks the best just on how it attaches instead of a crappy bolt that the wires can easily slip out of. Alright, so those are moved over now. If anything I want to change soon, it should probably be actually getting proper connectors for these, because look at this. That looks like it could fall out at any time. Alright, I got the wire nuts on. I can't really see if these lights are lit up because it's so bright out, but yeah, it looks like it. The one on the right is supposedly the battery light, so I'll check it at night. To actually attach the blades, there's this big nut that goes in the middle, and then it just screws on. This comes with a tool to hold the the shaft straight while you screw the big nut on. So I'll do that. There's also a cap that goes on the front. All right, as far as I can tell, I got it all set up. Of course, today there is no wind, so I can't really see if it's gonna do anything. Apparently there is a wind out of the north, but focus. Yeah, but we're on the south side of the house, so yeah, we'll wait and see. All right, so it's like a few days later since I set this thing up. It's really cold out. It's like -18 Celsius. Feels like your freedom unit's about 0, a little bit below 0. Anyway, this thing doesn't really do a whole lot. I think it's because it's right next to the house. It's blocked by everything. We're also in a neighborhood, so there's trees and houses all over. I think wind power might be better suited for being mounted on top of a roof or something. But I guess we'll just see what happens as time goes forward. Maybe we'll get some wind or it'll actually do something. But right now, it doesn't seem to be the best use of my money or time. But whatever.